shattered dreams. Melt your giant fucking screams. Neon glass station light. Shadows dancing in the night. Power searching through the veil.
This is the end of the film Black Friday. I was still in Black Friday. Hey, how many Black Fridays have you survived? I survived working 15 in retail. It is Friday. It is the 22nd day of November, 2024. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Good morning. I hope you are well and safe and warm as we go into the single greatest shopping day on the planet, Black Friday. Dun, 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 dun. And of course, because it's Black Friday, we're going to see if any of our stuff is marked down. And I'm going to just toss it out there right now. We're going to see a few digs at D&D, and I bet a lot of dice. Because remember, if you're a store and you don't know what to sell to gamers, dice. Hey, those guys who play that game with the dragon and they like weird shaped dice, right? Yeah. Let's just mark all those down. These are for pinochle. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Mark it. That is not even dice, Steve. Mark them down. That's a plotted plan. Mark it down. All right. So here we go. Dice. So right now we have dice that look like there's something growing inside them. Mountain dice, these are called. So somehow these guys have gotten this little thing inside to look like a mountain. And I guess it's kind of cool. I don't know how fair it would roll, though. It feels like it'd be top heavy. But yeah, it's like a ship in a bottle, but it's a mountain in a dice. And then, okay, hey, the horribly inaccurate Making of Dungeons and Dragons 1970 to 1977 from Wizards of the Coast is marked down from $100 to $50. Considering it's not even a half a year old, I guess that shows how much faith Amazon / Hasbro / Target has in this. Yeah. The Fizbin's Treasury of Dragons has been marked down from $50 to $25. That's half off because we're making a brand new dragon book in 2025. So we want you to forget that we already made one last year. The cards are marked down from $20 to $8. That is great. If there's like one thing I would recommend, it's the cards. If you are playing a spellcaster in any system and the cards are available, get them, because you can just get one of those Magic the Gathering card binders. They're the exact same size. So you slide the cards for the spells you're going to be using on the first page of the binder, right? A friend of mine named Tasha taught me this. So you know exactly what spells you have for the day. And when you've cast them, you just flip the card. So you know you've already cast that spell, right? And then at the end of the day, if you want to memorize different spells, you just take them out and put them in the other page and take the spell you want to mage back on the first. Brilliant. If there's, if we're going to go to the list of the things like you have to have for the game, dice, paper, pencil, your character record sheet. And then we have the things you could maybe have at the game, a player's handbook, some other stuff. And then we get like the third tier, these. If you are playing a spellcaster and you can find these for $8, get them. We've got a markdown DM screen made out of metal. That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. We got one of the very first. This is the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. So this thing's like 10 years old. It's like one of the very first things that came out for 5e. And it's only marked down $10? That seems completely wrong. Considering Wizards of the Coast hasn't decided whether they're actually going to be revisiting the Swords Coast or not. We know they're maybe doing a Forgotten Realms book sometime next year or the year after. But we don't know a lot about it. I don't think Ed has anything to do with it. And they kind of want us to forget that there's an entire world in the Forgotten Realms and just be like, hey, there's Sword Coast. So this is going to be a repeat of this. So you can get the original for $21 or you can wait for the new one that comes out for $50. Still, for a game book that's over 10 years old, 21 doesn't feel like much of a discount. Stickers. Then we got the Nerf Dragon Blaster, marked down from $16 to $8. No, it is not in fact a dragon, nor does it shoot fire. And it looks kind of weird, but it's a squirt gun. And here's our first of our dice. This is a matte red metal 6-sider. And it's got this little cherry blossom design on it for $19, marked down from $23. Hey, Honor Amongst Thieves has been marked down from $50 to $25 to $20 to $14 if you want the Blu-ray, $13 if you want the regular DVD, and $20 if you want the super deluxe version, or you could watch it for free on Netflix. Men's Dungeons and Dragons Black Pajama Dungeons and Dragons Sleep Pajama Pants for $14. Here's the metal DM's screen again. I don't know, man. Solid metal DM screen just sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. That sounds like cut fingers. So, yeah. Here we've got one of those weird, squirrely, hollow metal dice for $22. I feel weird about those. Here we have the Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master Screen Wilderness Kit for $15, marked down from $25. Of all the Dungeon Master screens that Wizards of the Coast has come out with throughout the past 10 years, this is supposedly the best. Of all the Dungeon Master, Dungeon Peripheral, whatever you want to call them, thingies, this one received the best reviews. Everybody who has reviewed them and said things about DM screens in general said of the Wizards of the Coast ones that's come out over the past 10 years, that one's the best. $15 sounds like a deal to me. This weird looking beholder toy. Here's the metal 3D dragon embossed journal for $10, which is a markdown because these normally run like $50. It's a journal of blank pieces of paper. Or you could just get the same thing at the 99-cent store or the Dollar Tree, but this one's for $10 because it's made from metal. Yeah, because that's not a disaster waiting to happen. Here we got some battle maps marked down from $26 to $13. Here we've got the Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons pocket watch. That's actually just a bunch of really teeny dice for $13. Here we've got a sweatshirt for $30. Here we've got the Nerf battle axe. Yes, this exists. More dice. Oh, remember all the trouble I got in with these dice when I made my tongue-in-cheek thing about, I wonder if you could use them as real bullets. And so many people are like, no, you can't use them as real bullets. And I'm like, come on, dude. You know somebody's at least tried once. And they were like, it wouldn't even work in a real game. Gun, you're stupid. You're dumb. Somebody even made we're going to make entire videos proving to you it's wrong. It's like, no, I know it can't be used as a bullet. But you're not telling me that some drunk redneck somewhere on the planet didn't try at least once? I'm sorry. I refuse to believe that. I've seen the Darwin Awards. I know that there is somebody out there who has tried to fire one of these out of a game at least once and probably blew off their hand. Then this weird thing. Let's see, page 2, dice and dice adjacent. Oh, hey, Princes of the Apocalypse marked down from 50 to 34. That doesn't feel like much of a markdown. Another solid metal notebook for $15, or you could just get a normal notebook for $1. Dice, more dice, action figures, dice bags. The Dungeon Academy books are marked down from 17 to 11. If you've got a little one in your family who's interested in, this type of stuff, that could be good. The Epic Monster cards marked down from $25 to $13. That's a huge discount. These were originally $80, marked down to $50, marked down to $30, marked down to $13. All the monsters. This one's specifically the Epic monsters, but it's going to have the other ones with the other monsters as well. Again, same idea as the spell cards. You get one of those Magic the Gathering binders. You put the monster cards that you're going to be using in this game definitely on the first page, and you get the ones of the random second. You might run into these random encounter. Why is there one goblin on this page of 100 random monsters and everything else is appropriate? But does that always have one weird thing like harlots or berserkers or whatever? And then you just put them in the order you think that they're going to show up. $12. And again, this is only the Epic Monster ones, but I'm assuming then that all the other ones are marked down as well. This is the Mimic Treasure Chest notebook it's a notebook. Okay. If you wanted to make a cool looking notebook, you can get a notebook for $1 and a cardboard box for $1 and put some stickers on it. Another weird swiggly dice, more dice. The very bizarre looking Drizzt action figure is marked down from $30 to $15. T-shirts are marked down. Another notebook marked down. This Githyanki marked down. That weird pocket watch marked down. Another metal DM screen. This one painted marked down. Stop making them out of metal. A bunch of the same. Just a bunch of the same things. Dice, socks, T-shirt, the unofficial. Gee, Wizards, an entire year has gone and you still haven't given us an official 50th anniversary Dungeons and Dragons T-shirt. The closest we get is from some other company. Dice, DM screen, dice, DM screen, notebook, socks, battle map, dice, pencils, a random thing of a boat, action figure, dice, notebook, cards. This one is initiative and combat trackers. And monster inserts. This is a good one. Wax seals. Wax seals. When you have gotten the tabletop role-playing gamer in your house, possibly everything they could get, wax seals. For all those times when you've been playing D&D and gone, God, I really wish I had a wax seal. No. DM screen, weird dice. Yeah, okay, so not a lot of books. Not a lot of books. Let's do role-playing. Role-playing game. Now, we might get some of naughty things, but okay. The Dune role-playing game, marked down from $16 to $20. A board game. A card game. Gathering Darkness, a tabletop role-playing game for marked down from $170 to $132. This is an AI-assisted role-playing game, so it's a video game. Star Wars Edge of Empire Beginner's Guide book, marked down from $40 to $25. That's okay. That's a pretty decent markdown if you want to get the beginner's game for Star Wars Edge of the Empire. Personally, I'd tell you get the Star Wars West End Games D6. Legacy of Dragonholt role-playing game, narrative adventure game, cooperative fantasy game for adults and teens, marked down from $60 to $40. Board game Hero Quest, always a good one, marked down from $50 to $31. Edge of Empire core rule book, marked down from $70 to $45. Not bad. Dice, of course, board game, glow in the dark dice, rechargeable LED dice. Because, that one time where all the lights go out and you still need to roll. Card game, Legends of the Five Rings, marked down from $50 to $38. That's such an obscure game, and so few people still play it, guys. I'd mark it down further because otherwise it's just going to sit there. Board game, board gamey card game, dice, board game. Here's that video game again. Board game, dice, board game, dice. Power Rangers marked down from $20 to $10. That shows how little faith Hasbro has in Power Rangers. A random adventure, the reprint of Dark Tower from our good friend Janelle, marked down from $30 to $24. I mean, one of the best dungeons ever written. Sure, maybe. I don't know. Seems sort of out of place. Board game. Whatever that is. I guess it's a dice tower. Board game, princesses. Board game, Legends of the Five Rings. Dice, Castles and Keep board game. Dice, card game. Dice. Dicey nope. Dice. No. Well, that's for kids. That one's okay. Minecraft, that's role-playing. RuneQuest marked down from $60 to $37. What an unusual pricing. $37 for RuneQuest. Dice, board game. Yeah, nope. Dice, kids playing thing because role play. More dice, board game, kids doctor set. a random video game. Dice. So yeah, it doesn't look like our thing is getting a lot of love. One more look. We're going to go to the main page, and we're going to go to save on Hasbro. All right, so we have, looks like all the Hasbro board games are marked down. Furby. All right, 2 years in a row, this has been Hasbro's #1 seller. Let's see if it goes for 3. Furby. Let's see, it looks like the Transformers toys are marked down. Play-Doh, board games, Nerf, Furby. Even though this is Hasbro, it's very little Hasbro on here. It's mostly kid stuff. All right, and we're going to go over here to one more. We got games. All right, so we're going to check out games. Games. And for some reason, it shows us action figures and board games. So not a lot of Black Friday love for Dungeons and Dragons on Amazon. Of course, it's still a week early. Today is not Black Friday. Black Friday is a week from today, the single most dangerous holiday. Have any of you ever had to work retail Black Friday? I did. Several years in a row, usually in the morning. I would get to store at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, store open at 7, see the line of people stretching across the parking lot at 4 o'clock in the morning, at night, the day after Thanksgiving, freezing to death as I walked into the nice, warm, comfy, safe, quiet store. And usually they had food out for us. And because you were working Black Friday, you got top super secret double time plus holiday time. And then you'd sit there for an hour making sure everything's out from 4 to 5 or 5 to 6. And then you'd let them in at 5 or 6 and then hope nobody dies. And then watch them stand in line only to get to your counter and ask you if something's in stock and only for you to tell them, no, it's not in stock. And then laugh at them for standing in line that long instead of calling ahead. The only thing better than working Black Friday in the morning was working Black Friday night of. Because when it went from Thanksgiving over to Black Friday, if you were there at midnight and you worked 2 from closing to opening, you got Thanksgiving double pay. Then you got super secret double overtime for working over the hump. And then you got paid for that other day because you were now working a Saturday. So, man, until I saw the first horrible thing, I loved Black Friday. I mean, even the one Black Friday when the computer didn't work, and I had to type everything in by hand. I still loved it. I loved the food. I loved how the store took care of you. I loved being warm and safe in the store. And I loved laughing at people when the thing that they wanted didn't come in. But then people started getting hurt and Black Friday became things. Now, thanks to the internet, that doesn't really happen anymore. We just have to worry about people getting robbed. So stay safe out there. Enjoy your Black Friday. Amazon, you have failed us. Not even a lot of D&D stuff marked down this year, but definitely a good time to get dice, peripherals, board games, and other stuff for that long winter that we're not going to have because we don't have winter in California. But for the rest of you, stay safe out there. I'll talk to you soon.
News from the table in the rolling waves, dice in our hands.